Excellent. So I want to just dive right in. And I know you have a history of music education. You have a music education degree. What led you to go straight into music education? Was that your calling at first? Describe your story.
Oh goodness. No, that was not my calling originally. I always wanted to play violin. That was just like my heart's desire from like age 5, and I couldn't really tell you why I was so in love with it, except that that's just it spoke to me. And I finally convinced my mom to let me start lessons when I was 8, and I just knew that that was going to be something that I was going to do for the rest of my life, but I didn't really know in what capacity. In high school, this is a little bit of a personal part, but I developed psoriatic arthritis, and I still struggle with that from time to time. So my hands will swell, my feet swell, and it makes it kind of painful to play. And I kind of reached a point where I thought that violin wouldn't be something that I would get to do in the future.
Mm.
Um, and then my high school director encouraged me to go to a strings camp in Michigan and be a counselor. And I fell in love with teaching, and I fell in love specifically with just people who it doesn't come easy for them, because I mean, I relate to that. And I wanted to help those kids find joy in music. And so then I went into music education. And from there, went into the school system and became like your stereotypical orchestra teacher, but really enjoyed that. I can keep going if you want me
Yes,
to.
I would love to hear more about it. Yeah, because what's really amazing is the amount of dedication towards becoming a classroom music teacher, because it's not easy. You would just think that you're doing maracas and and piccolos and plastic flutes all day, but it's not. It's very much not, because there are the music education paths where you have like certain age grade limits, where if you want to focus primarily from grade 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, and then you want to focus primarily on middle school education, or you want to really dive deep into the high school level. So which category did you fit in, and which one did you teach? Did you do the high school, the middle school, or the lower elementary?
So I taught fifth and sixth grade. Our district was kind of split into an intermediate school. So fifth grade was more exploratory. So my main thing was the sixth grade orchestra. And so I was starting all the beginners out. And I know a lot of people like kind of cringe when they hear sixth, seventh, eighth grade. I really loved it. They're awkward, they're funny, and I kind of relate to that. Um, but yeah, it was a big program. I had at the end when I left around 120 students total, split between like 3 classes. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of management. It was a lot of planning, a lot of prep work, because you're picking out the pieces, you're planning the curriculum, you're teaching the concepts, you're planning the concerts. It was a big job. And so part of all of that is why when I became pregnant, I was had to like make a decision, because I devoted a lot of time to my job. I loved my job, but I knew that I was exhausted at the end of the day, and to come home and take care of a child felt super overwhelming. I've always wanted to be a mom, and so I realized like in order to be the mom I wanted to be, I was going to have to make a career change. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a career switch, I should say, because I left that, but then I just continued teaching in a private lessons situation. So I would teach from home, and I had at one point around 20 students that would come to my home. Um, yeah, so that's where I switched, and why I switched. When I became pregnant with my second, I realized like that load of students was going to be a bit much for me to handle. Kind of side note, we're anticipating our third, so
Wow, congratulations.
that's fairly recent. So we are. That's part of why I started doing the online stuff, because I was like, I can't. I don't want to stop teaching. I don't want to stop um, providing for my family in a financial sense, but I can't just fill all of my days, because then it's basically what like working at the school again.